Yes, I can see the red dot on YouTube, which basically means we are live. Once again, this evening stream, like usual. Let me quickly respond and say that I'm streaming, that everybody needs to leave me alone, except you guys, of course. All right, so what are we going to do today, this evening, this session? I have some good news and I have some good news. So I basically have 2 times good news, which is always good. And the chat is okay. Yes, everything is set. So basically we had this issue where we want to try to sync blocks. And we fixed that issue, but another issue came up, which is the classic software engineering, where we had this, and I don't know if I can show it. Let me make run the whole shebang real quick. So what's gonna happen is, after a couple minutes, seconds, we're gonna have an issue. We're gonna have an error, a read error from our TCP connection, from our TCP, and I'm looking for it, from our TCP transport. And it's going to be end of file, connection closed. And I was debugging this in the morning and I couldn't understand what was going on because everything seemed to be okay. There is the error here. Read error, TCP, connection reset by remote. And I was thinking, what the hell is going on? What did we do wrong? And actually we didn't do anything wrong. And I will show you what is going on. So remember, when we are creating this TCP transport, we were basically adding a TCP tester. And this TCP tester, as the name it already says, it's for testing the TCP. So what it does is it basically dials this port, which is one of our nodes. And what happens, it just sends a transaction and call it a day. So he sends a transaction and he's piecing out. But our server thinks that's a new node that's connecting. So what happens is it basically puts that connection into a peer map, and it spins up a read loop. But our connection is already closed. And that is the error. So in able to fix it, we don't need this TCP tester actually, so we can just delete this guy from the scene, like this. And that should work. And now everything is Gucci. Everything is as it should be. All right, so today we are going to implement our JSON RPC server. And why do we need that? Well, as you know, each blockchain has its own API. Each node has its own API, its own JSON RPC server. So users can actually query transactions, can query the blockchain, the height, the blocks, the whole shebang. And I thought that's a good starting point for a stream because it takes not too long and it's one coherent thing. Action, task at hand. So, how are we going to do this? I thought that we should create a new folder to place all that logic inside. So I think we could make this the API folder, right? And API has a server like this. We call this package API, and we are going to say type server struct good question. What do we need? Maybe an address. Oh wait, we could do type config. Server config actually. That's going to be a struct. And let me take away this mouse because I don't use it. Mouse pointer. Server config. We're going to say listen address or adder. It's going to be a string. We're going to say that the config, we could say server config like this maybe. That should work. We're gonna make a constructor function, new server. We're gonna pass in the config, CFG. Wait, let me first, before I forget, announce that I'm actually live. So, what is this? I'm gonna close this out, leave some YouTube thumbnails. And let me say Twitter, boom, it's already been prepared. All right, let's get back. So we're gonna say new server, config, that's gonna be, maybe, do we need a pointer? I don't think so. Server config, that's gonna return, I think it's going to return a pointer to a server and maybe an error. Like this, so we could say, actually, no error. Return server. Server config is going to be the CFG, and that should work. Maybe a logger actually. How did we fix this in server? In the other server? Network. Server. Network. A log.logger, okay. It's going to be a logger. And what is going to... I'm going to use this GoKit logger. Okay. Then we're going to have a function attached to the server. Start maybe. That's clear. Maybe that should return an error. Not quite sure. Yes, it will. Because we're going to say maybe we should actually import a package for this. Yes, we're going to do that. I'm going to return it. So what we're going to use, let me open up this thing. So what I'm always using, if I want to work with web servers, is Echo, which is basically a very minimalistic and high performant and also extensible web framework. But I don't use the framework, it's just, it saves me a lot of time doing some boilerplate. So how am I going to install this? And that's a very good question. Get started, maybe always a good point to watch. The only thing I want, this one I want. This go get, copy, paste this in. Should be good. The question rather is, then we can say is echo new what we could do is return e start. We need to give it an address. I think it's going to be the listen address. That should work, right? That should work. So let's give it a test handler. For example, eget. And we're going to call this block, maybe. Block. With hash or with ID. Both could work. Actually, both should work, to be honest. You could actually call this hash or ID, like this. And we're going to say the handler of this route is going to be server handle get block. Like this. Let's make this function real quick. Server handle get block. A context echo context error. Like this. We should say return C JSON HTTP status OK. And for now, let's say it's going to return a map string any. Works. Hello. Good evening. At least good evening where I live. It could be morning for you or something in between. We're going to say it works. All right. Like this. Okay. So let's open up main. The question is, wait, before we do this, it's 12 AM, so good morning. Good morning, man. Good morning. I hope you had a good night, a good chunk of sleep, at least 7 hours, to keep your testosterone at good levels. A little tip, a little tip. The question is, maybe we should boot this. We're gonna boot this up alongside with the node. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. So we can say, if we basically boot our node up, that's already S, or we're going to say API server is going to be API new server. It needs options. API server config CFG maybe is going to be API server config. We need a logger. Do we have a logger? Yes. But that should be, well, we give it for now. Why not? We shall do it like this for now. So API new server, it needs this API config, but we also need a listen address. And for now, just to test, I'm going to give it 999. Should be a string actually. Because we can't use 3000, we can't use 4000 and all these other ports because they are in use. Because we're basically spinning up other nodes, right? API server config, yeah. And then we can say go API server. What's going on with this type thingies? Go API server start. Something like this. I'm not quite sure it's going to work, but we can test it. Yeah, so, oh yeah, it spins up. yeah, okay, I see. This is bad. And the reason is because we're spinning up other nodes. We are spinning up already 3 nodes. So they are all going to spin up their API server, which they all going to use port 99999. So these are problems, but these are luxury problems. So we need to fix this. Let's go to main. And if you want to make a new server, actually what we're going to do, we're going to say API listen adder. That's going to be a string. And we're going to say if the string is empty, we are not going to boot up an API server. Right? So we can say opt API listen address like this. But So only boot up the API server if the config has a valid port number. Or basically, yeah. So we can say if len opts listen address is bigger than 0, which is not always a valid one. We could say actually, to give us some information, as, wait, opt logger log message API server wait, we could do JSON API server running port opts. Man, I'm confused. API listen address. Okay, cool. Is this in the way of my? Yes. I need to learn that I cannot code inside of my own frame border. I'm so sorry. Okay, cool. So now in main, where we do make server, we are going to add another variable once again. API listen address. Oh. Like this. String. And then we can say API listen address like this. It's gonna be this one. Hop. Our local node is gonna have 999 I mean, or we do 9000 maybe. This one is gonna have nothing. This one also nothing. And this one also nothing. So this should basically boot up only one API server, JSON API server, HTTP server for a local node. And that's working. So what I want to do to test is basically quickly open up Postman, whatever, open. Look at this. Workspaces, and it's going to be full of our exchange shenanigans we did in previous streams, but that's all fine. So what I'm going to do is 9000 it was, block, doesn't really matter. It works. That's good news, right? All right. Now let me quickly check. All right. So I'm thinking. Cool. I got it. So, handle get block. We are missing something, because if we want to access our blockchain, if we want to access blocks, we need to access our blockchain. So we need to embed our blockchain into this server struct, into this object. Well, object is into this structure, data structure. So we're going to call this actually, we need a BC, and that's going to be a core blockchain. So we're gonna say, I'm gonna give it in the config maybe. So we could say CFG is going to be, wait, BC. Actually, nope, we're not gonna do it like this. I'm gonna do it like this. BC going to be a core blockchain like this. And then we can say BC is going to be BC. I know. It sounds weird, but it is what it is. Okay, back to server. So he's complaining. And I can't blame him. Yes, and the good news is, here we are creating a new blockchain. So we can actually say chain. We can put that variable inside of this guy. And because we are using mutexes in our blockchain, we are thread safe, right? Very important. We are thread safe. If you wondering about that, if you have concerns about that. Okay. The question is, how are we going to handle this ID and hash? That's the thing, right? That's the thing. Okay, I think I have an idea. So we could say ID or hash is going to be C param. And I will put this a little bit higher. Not quite sure if I can. Yes. C param. I think it's ID or hash. What did we do? Hash or ID. Hash or ID. Hash or ID. So let's print this out. Yes. Let's make run. Open up our Postman. Print this thing out. Yes, here. Here is a poor little fella getting printed out. Hey, come on, please, Visual Studio Code. Yes, thank you. So this is working. So what we're gonna do is, I think we first gonna assume it's an ID, or yes. The problem is we're gonna convert this to string, to int, right? Well, we could do something like actually the height, right? People call this ID, people call this height. I prefer to call it block height and not the ID. That's not really what it is. So we could say height R is going to be a string conversion of this hash A to Y. Yes. And we're going to put this hash or ID inside of it. And if it's a hash, it's going to return an error because you cannot convert a hash into an ID, into a string, into an int. Oh my God, into an int. So it's basically going to complain. So if there is an error, so wait, if error is not nil, how can we do this in a good way? So we convert if it's an error, because otherwise what we're gonna do is I think we could do something like this. If the add is nil, we know it's an integer, right? So we go do something like block R is BC, which is our blockchain, get block, and we put in the height. And I know that should be a uint32 cast to uint32. If there's an error, we're gonna return the error. Otherwise, we're gonna return we're gonna return this JSON, the block. We're gonna return the block, right? Boom, just like this. Right? And if it's not, wait, do I have actually, let's open a blockchain. Do I have a way to retrieve a block by hash? I don't think so. Yeah, we don't. Shit. But we can fix it, no worries. We're gonna fix this. Otherwise, we're just gonna say panic. Need to implement. Man, implement. Get blocked by hash. Like this. Okay. Now we're gonna test this. So our blockchain is at height 1. So we are 100% sure 1 is gonna work. So Postman, please. Where are you? Here. So we're gonna say block 1. I hope this works. It is. But it's working fine. It gives us a version, the data hash, which is basically the Merkle root of the transactions. This is the previous block hash, but I know these are plain bytes, right? We need to fix this. We have the height timestamp. We even have the address of the validator, the public key of the validator. And then we have the signature. It's all bytes. This is a big int, by the way. Big ints, S and R. And it has no transactions. That's true. That's true. Okay. All right, so the first thing, what we're gonna do is basically make sure we have a nice representation of these weird fields, of these bytes. So the problem is, if we open up our block structure, block, yes. It's the header. Where is the header? Here. You see? Types.hash. Types.hash is basically what these weird fields are causing. And I think we could do something, and I'm not quite sure. If you go to types, do we have types? Hash. You see, it's basically doing this, right? It's JSON marshalling these things, or unmarshalling these things. I think we can add a function which is an interface, basically the JSON marshaller interface. I'm not quite sure how it works. I think it's marshal. Let me quickly look this up, to be honest. So what I'm going to look up is basically Golang marshal JSON interface. Let's see. There is a way, so we can actually implement marshal and unmarshal JSON as an interface, as functions, as methods. It's not really a method, but whatever. So it basically can automatically transform this byte slice, or it's actually an array, it's an array, into JSON, into a string representation of our hash. The question rather is, is it marshal? I think it's this, by the way. Yeah, marshaller, that's the interface, right? That's the thing we need. This is the boy we need, or girl. Marshal JSON. Yeah. Marshal JSON, I'm gonna remember this. Byte error. What? Wait. Okay. Not quite sure if it's gonna work, but to be honest. Because it's not gonna work, but I'm gonna try it anyway. How does it know that's gonna be a string representation? That's Thanks for these videos, Random 101. Like the way you type. Thank you. I have my own nasty habits, I know. I'm thinking about this marshalling because it's not gonna work, because even though we're gonna use the marshal JSON, we're gonna return bytes or an error, which basically means it's not gonna work. I think what we need to do, I can try it, let's try, and wait, let me first look up, because what's unmarshal JSON then? Marshaller. It's an unmarshaller then, right? Unmarshaller. This guy. No, it's not gonna work. But that's no problem. That's no issue. Server, API. Actually, let's create our own type. Let's do it here. Type block, struct. What we're gonna say is a version, uint 32. Data hash, capitalized. Data hash is going to be a string, right? And the same thing for pref block hash. Pref block hash height, uint32, and then a timestamp. And actually what we could do here is, maybe we can make it pretty and say it's a time. And we're gonna handle these transactions later on. We first gonna do the metadata, right? Well, metadata, you know what I mean. Not these crazy things here. So yeah, so we're basically just gonna pipe this thing into a block. We're gonna massage a block into another block. A user-friendly block. So we're gonna get a block. We're gonna say, so confusing to be honest, because I want to call it other block, but that's not good. B is also I need to make sure I'm not getting fired, right? So how can we call this? I don't know, man. JSON block. It's going to be block, right? So the height is going to be block height, like this. What's going on here? Okay, buddy. And what do we have? Merkle? No, not Merkle. It's the data hash. It's going to be, yeah, block header. Yeah. Yes. Look at this. Easy. And then priv block hash. Same thing. Boom. Boom. Easy peasy. What else? Height, version, timestamp, right? So version, it's actually going to be this, but the version, like this, and then the timestamp. That's a good question. Time. How do we create a time? How do we create a time from a Unix Nano thingy? I have no clue. Time. New. From. Set. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. So we have this JSON block. And I'm gonna say JSON block. Easy. Make run and then test it. Send. Shh. I think we were a little bit too fast. You see, and now we have these nice representations of these hashes, right? So the version is the height. Yeah. Do we have 2? Of course we have it. And 3 probably we also have this. Whoa, it's always the same data hash. That's crazy. That's true because we don't have transactions, right? And yeah. So the data hash is going to be the same thing, which I don't think it's a good thing. But the pref block hash is an issue, right? No? No, it isn't. It isn't. It's changing. That's good. That's good. Okay, so timestamp. Hey. Fuck it. Okay. Timestamp is going to be block header timestamp. Okay. We figure these things out. We figure these things out, man. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's this internal server error. I don't know what it is. Now we're actually in trouble, to be honest. Oh yeah, of course we do 5, but we don't have block 5. So we need to fix this error, right? Timestamp. You see this nice Unix Nano thingy? If somebody knows out of the top of his head how you create a Go time from a Unix Nano int64, please let me know. So we need to handle get block. So we have this JSON block. If add is not nil, what the hell is going on? We cannot return this, to be honest. We need to have a nice JSON. We could say return C JSON. HTTP status batch request something. Gateway. Request. What's going on? Yes. Let's make some nice error message, right? Some nice error type. So we're going to say API error. It's going to be a struct. That's going to be an error. And the reason why I do this, it's basically because then we can easily JSON marshal it, JSON encode, decode it, right? Otherwise, we need to use something like, let's say we don't have this struct, then we need to do something like a map string any, and then we can say error and add, right? Oh, like this. But that's basically trash, right? This doesn't look too good. So we could instead do this. Thanks to our struct, we could say API error. We could do this, or even just put the error inside of this thing. Wait, it's an error. Like this. But I prefer, and I think a lot of people in the Golang community prefer to always have explicit variable names inside of structs. Like this. Not a big of a deal, and it's basically very clear for people if they come in and they want to read your code. And in one of my previous videos, we have an issue because we did not do this. So lessons learned, right? Okay. So if we now test this real quick, make run, and we go to block, let's say 10, it doesn't exist, boom. And we don't have an we don't have an error. What is going on? This is actually okay. I prefer them for readability. Yes, exactly, Raul. And hello, by the way. And actually, to be honest, sometimes it's maybe better to do it like this, right? Like this. But I don't know, man. This looks like, I don't know. This is good. This is fine, right? Maybe if there were multiple variables, we could split that up. Or we could create the error here and then put it in. This is fine. This is fine. We are not a Ruby community where we are discussing for hours and hours how we're going to call a variable. That's not what we're going to do. But it needs to be clear, that's for sure. So why is this error? Can we not actually marshal errors? That's crazy. I know what it is. So this is an error. And an error is basically this type. And for some reason, we cannot make it a string. I know it makes no sense, but it is what it is. Can we do r string? ToString actually, yeah. My toString. What's going on? I'm pretty sure r could have string. Why don't I remember this anymore? Oh, it's error. Oh my god, it's this. Like this. It's an interface, right? Yes, interface. I see. My apologizes. This should work, by the way. Boom. Given height is too high. Nice, right? With this nice little, yeah. All right, that's working. That's working fine. Golang just does it as an overlay. Yes, I know Golang's pretty good. Oh, thank you, Stefan. Error, yeah. A little bit too late. I think there's a little bit delay on the chat also. I'm not quite sure how YouTube handles this. Golang, yeah, Golang is great, but it's too big of an idea for me. Not an IDE for me, but the idea itself. IDE, I know. Editor, it's too big of an editor for me. Even Visual Studio Code, if you can see the settings, it's very trimmed, right? Line numbers are away. I basically, minimap is gone. Everything that I could get rid of is gone. But I am 100% sure that an IDE, especially for new people, new coders, is a benefit. But for me, I'm getting too old. I'm too used to have nothing. Yeah. Okay. What do we need? We also need these transactions. The validator and signature. We can actually already fix this, right? We could say validator. Keep to public key. It's going to be the same thing, so we're going to make it a string, right? Like this. And the signature, actually the same thing. Signature. And now we need to do some massaging again, right? So, and if for people that coming in, this sounds weird, right? This add is nil. This is not your Go used to be functions. This is the reason why I'm doing this is because we have an hash or ID, because it's the same API route where we can paste the height. Actually, I should call it height to be honest, but we can paste an integer. So we fetch it by the height, or we paste the hash of the block. So we fetch it by its hash. So what I'm doing is basically, I do a string conversion on the hash. So I assume that the ID is given. So I do a string conversion. If that works, I think I can be pretty sure it's the height that it's given instead of the hash. We will see if that is going to work. So you see this panic here, need to implement get blocks by hash. So if we are here, we need to fetch it by hash. I hope that's going to work. It should work. Validator. Validator. That's basically the public key of the block that signed the validator that signed the block. The public key of the validator signed the block. The consensus leader. And something we're gonna do very soon is implement a consensus algorithm in Go for this blockchain. That would be amazing. Proof of work, of course. Stake. Proof of stake. Validator. Block. Header. No, it's not header. It's not header. It's vali. Yes. Like this. But for the signature, it's going to be some other things. Let me quickly open up key pair, and I will open up here so you guys can see it a little bit better. Key pair. Signature. So signature is, it has two big ints. Okay. Can we do signature? Not quite sure it's going to work, by the way. Mwah. I would say there's a string function, but that's probably our own. Can you imagine? Recursive calls. Is it? Is it our own? It is, right? Is it not? Yeah, there's one. We don't have luck. How can we actually make a nice string from this? We need to come up with something ourselves, to be honest. Actually, we can, right? As long as we have a contract with ourselves, how we are going to marshal this into a string, it's fine, right? So we could do something like yeah, we can do bytes, right? So okay, let's do this. What does a buffer do? Let me quickly try new bytes buffer. Buff read. Yes. We're gonna do something. We're gonna be MacGyver real quick. So we're gonna say bytes like this. We're gonna do it again with the R. Okay. Now we're gonna return buff string. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? This guy, server. And now we can say block signature string, right? Make run. Yeah, 10 is too high. I know, my friend. And 1 is too high. Not anymore. It's not working. I cheered too early. Crypto, right? Keep it, I mean. Why is it not working? So this is weird. This is really weird. So print ln wait, can we do len buff? Buff.len. What's going on? Block time is 5 seconds, so I know. 0. That's weird. That basically means, can we print something wrong with this print f maybe, and we're gonna do it verbose. New line. Sig R. Do the same thing with S. Man, this is clear. Make run. 0. Okay, we need to fix that. Genesis block cannot be retrieved. Oh, it's my bad. We're gonna return this. We forgot this, so we can retrieve the Genesis block, right? Yes. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's working, right? Discord invite is expired. How is this possible? Oh my god, this is bad news. Man, do you know how many videos I need to update? Oh man, how is this possible? Oh, this is... No. Yeah, then I need to make a new link. Thanks, Tinker, to let it. How did you find that out, man? That's crazy. That's insane. Damn. Damn, do you know how much work it is doing this YouTube stuff, man? It's insane. It's It should work, right? I don't think the link is expired. Oh, this one is working. Yeah. Which one are you talking about then, Tinker? I just tried to enter your channel. The link on the YouTube description. That one. Anyway, I will figure it out. I will figure it out. That's nasty, bye. That's nasty though. Oh my goodness. And now this Windows thingy. How do you... Wait, because my computer is doing things it should not do. Help. Finally, let me close this real quick. Look at this window taskbar, man. How do you... automatically hide the taskbar again? Can somebody tell me how do I get rid of this taskbar? Always hide with labels. Right. Okay, cool. This is gone. Ciao. See you. I'm a Mac user, but man, I'm having a hard time. You're not gonna lie. What the hell is going on? Holy shit. Where is OBS? Here. Okay, cool. I'm so sorry. Yes, under the video. Okay, it's a description link. That's actually nasty. Not gonna lie. I will fix it, guys. If you wanna, you can just type. No, you can't. Well, Nightbot, every 10 minutes, Nightbot will pop in the Discord link. Thanks for letting me know, Tinker. Amazing, because I don't understand how this is possible, but we will fix it. Okay, let's get back to this issue. And don't be afraid to ask something, even if I'm in the flow. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, so I think this returned something, right? Let's quickly do this again. And now I need to be very careful. Block 0. Yes. These are printing out big integers. Windows, man, not the best, but it is what it is. It's for better quality decoding with my GPU. Okay, this byte buff read doesn't actually work for some reason. I don't know why. Do I need to flush or something? Do I? Buff reset. We're gonna do it another way. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say as bytes is going to be make a slice of byte. That's going to be the length of sig s. bytes. This is a little bit nastier, I know, but the buff apparently don't work. So we have these 2 bytes. Actually, we cannot do it like this. Signature. This is gonna work. Signature are bytes. And then we're gonna append as bytes this, and then we say return string b. Man. Okay, just one more thing we need to do. We're gonna say can we do hex encode to string? We can't, right? What does it take actually? What does it do? Type hint me please. Hex encode to string b. It's not gonna work. Maybe it is. Now is this taskbar. Look at them. Yeah, it's working. That's fine. It's not the best actually, but hey, it will do. Windows. Can somebody some Windows guru? How do I delete this taskbar completely from my screen? Lock the taskbar. That's not what we need. This is not what we need. Man, what is this? Okay, I have an idea. I have a quick hack. It's nasty, but it is what it is. And I'm still actually a little bit pissed why this buff read is not working, because it sounded like such a good... I think it's right click and hide. Yeah, I'm not gonna, it's again here. Where is it? Hide. What is this? Taskbar settings. I mean, oh man, this is crazy. Man, I'm gonna leave it just like this, because otherwise I'm just gonna move it. Wait. Man, this could work, right? This could work actually. Why not? Why not? The top is good. The top is good. We don't care. Where is my taskbar? Here. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check it after stream how I need to fix this. Okay. So the signature, we basically say we append, and actually what I want to do to make it a little bit consistent, because we have this, and actually I'm gonna do it like this. It's clean, it's clean. So we say S and then we say R, right? Like this. That's actually good. And then we encode it to string and call it a day. Okay. So I think we have everything, right? So server API. Signature, just the transactions. I know. But we're gonna deal with that later on. The next thing what I want to do is basically return blocks by hash. But the problem is, let me open up blockchain real quick. Raul, in the taskbar settings, switch on second and third option. Okay. Switch. Second and third option. Switch on second and third option. 1, 2, 3, boom. And then. But it's basically a bug, I think, with my screens, because normally I never have any issues with it. But sometimes it happens when I alt-tab between my screens. Sometimes it turns on. It's on both screens for some reason. And I don't know why that is. I have no clue. I prefer to have my taskbar at one screen and not on the other screen. Just like a Mac, right? On a Mac you have your thing and you can configure it. It only shows on your monitor, on one monitor. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Hey, we need to struggle, man. Struggle and learn. The show must go on. Raul, I switched to M1 Pro and it's such a pain to work with Docker due to RM. Yeah, and I don't understand. I don't. That's the reason why I'm not gonna buy one. Why I'm using this Razer Blade as an option for my other Mac, which is good, but that has no GPU. A very bad one. And I do a lot of video encoding. Yeah, and I want to do it on the GPU. So I have my CPU free. And basically I have the MacBook where the keys, I don't like the keys on the MacBook series. I think on the new ones it's better. They deleted the display, man. I'm a Vim user and I cannot even press escape. Can you imagine that? Escape is a touch button. A touch button. That completely blows my mind. Completely blows my mind. Escape is a touch button. It's insane. Can you imagine having an escape as a touch button? I can swear you, the day everybody is using touchscreens to type, I'm gonna commit suicide. I swear. I would never do this unless we need to type on touchscreens. Like in these futuristic movies where everybody is typing on these things. Man, I swear to God. That's the day I'm peacing out. That's the day I'm peacing out. All right. Block by hash. Blockchain. Yes. The problem is, normally we should persist these blocks into some kind of database. For example, BadgerDB or LevelsDB. Yeah, man, we need to click something to go crazy. Exactly. Exactly. I don't know. I just can't type. It's a muscle memory. It's, I don't know. People in my house hate it. Hate the sound. But I like it. For some reason. So normally we should store these shenanigans into BadgerDB or something. But for the sake of... That's a good Discord link in the chat right now. Nightbot is doing his work. But we don't store it into a DB. We basically store this all in memory. And we store it basically in a slice. So we can fetch the block and the transactions and everything. Actually, the transaction is not implemented yet. The storage, I mean. But the headers and the blocks, we can fetch it by index. But we should fetch it by height, right? So we could do something like we loop through all the slices and we compare, blah, blah, blah. But that's bad, right? That scales. That doesn't scale. So we should do something like block map. I know it's we should call this actually header list and block list or something. Let's call it block store for now. And we say it's a map, right? It's going to be a map type hash. Is this? That should work. And it's going to be pointers to block. Why? Because if we use pointers, we have 8 bytes we store. It's cheap. Instead of storing the whole shebang, we use pointers. Block store is going to be a map types hash block. That should work. And then we can say block store is going to be type. Wait, it's going to be either make types hash like this and then a pointer to a block, right? What's going on? Yes. So add block. We do this shenanigans. We run our transactions. We run our virtual machine. Yes, yes. But here we call block without validation. And that's exactly where we're going to store these things. So we have this lock already. And I think we can actually reuse this. Why not? B hash. And I need to actually call this function because we have we cache the hash. Cache the hash. It sounds cool. Because calculating the hash is some computational overhead, and each time we call hash, it needs to calculate it. So we basically store it. We calculate it once. I can show you. So if you open a block, here. So basically, if the hash is 0, we calculate the hash, otherwise we return the hash. Classic caching mechanics, right? To save some overhead. And it's going to be the block, right? B. Oh. This block hasher. Block. Man, what is this? What did I do? A hasher. Golang generics. Man, oh. Block hasher. Well, it's... Wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yes, man. So we're gonna hash the block, store it inside of this block store, and that's it, and call it a day. And then we can say, actually we need, no, we can't do this logic into server. We can't, because, actually we can, wait. Get block, we're gonna make a new function. Actually, we're gonna yoink this one. We're gonna say get block by hash. This is gonna be, what's going on? Visual Studio, please. Hash. It's gonna be a types hash. Let's call it like this maybe, and then it's gonna be block. We're gonna use the same. No, we can't. we're going to say block OK is going to be BC block store hash like this. If not OK, which basically means that it doesn't exist, we're going to return nil fmt error f block with hash. We're going to say this not found. Okay. And we're going to do this. And otherwise we return block and nil, I think. And now we can go to server. Man, and this taskbar really annoys me, not gonna lie. But it is what it is. So if the error is nil, we can assume the height of the block is given. All right, and otherwise assume it's the hash. Okay, so then we're gonna say block r is SBC get blocked by hash, right? Yes. Yes. Hash or ID. Yes. I think you locked the taskbar. Yeah, well, I don't know, man. Oh my goodness. Man, I actually so scared to touch it, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so scared. No, it's not locked, eh? That's locked. Automatically hide the taskbar in desktop mode. In what kind of mode am I, maybe? What is this? Use smaller taskbar, but hey, look at this. This is already a win. This is already a win. Replace command prompt with Windows PowerShell. Oh, it's so funny. Used to peek the previous used to peek the preview desktop. What is this? Oh. You see, if I, that's the little hack, but for how long will it take? That's the question. If I trick him into moving the taskbar to the bottom, then he basically, the question is, we cannot tab anymore, right? So if we go to Postman, we are fucked again. And what is this? Get blocked by hash. Why are you doing, oh yeah, it's a string, right? Do we have something like from string? Oh no, we don't. From bytes, yes, but the question is, shit. To be honest, we should do something like B is hex encode decode string, right? Decode string hash or ID, man. Yeah. And then we have the bytes, and then we can actually say hash from bytes. Look at this. Is it types? Yeah. I don't know if it's gonna work, to be honest. like this. Man. Yeah, I see. I see. And then we can say this, right? Man. Boom. Of course, we do this, right? The block. The question is, how are we going to retrieve the block hash? That's easy. We can do that. Wait, do we have the hash already? We don't. The most important thing isn't included in our JSON response. Can you imagine? Hash string. That's going to be block hash, right? That's going to be a core block hasher and string. So what we're going to do is make run. And now we need to top, I know. All good so far. Okay, so we have this hash. So if I copy this hash, right? Which is the Genesis block 0, and I paste this hash inside of this. It's working. But. Yes, the taskbar. I think if I fixed it, by the way, Raul. I fixed it. Or you fixed it. Or we fixed it. It doesn't matter. He's out of here. That's the only thing that we care about. Yeah, of course. Okay. What we need to do is make a helper function real quick, actually. Func. Into JSON block. A little bit of Rust. A little bit of Rust function signatures. Into JSON. Into JSON block. Oh. Into JSON block. B. Core.block. What does it return? A block. This does not make any sense, but it is what it is. Block. It doesn't matter. What we're gonna do is this. Real quick. Return. Yeah, I see. It's a pointer. No, it's this pointer. Yes. Can I delete the shenanigans? Yes. Into JSON block. Block. Easy. Yeah, the timestamp is 0, but that's normally because it's a Genesis block. So Genesis block, it's 0. It's fine. It's working, right? So let's do 3. So this is the hash of block 3. Let's paste the hash in. Height 3. So it works. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? Let me quickly see what's going on here. It's kind of fine. Whoa, my taskbar is now so small I couldn't find them. Man, what an adventure. What an adventure. Okay, so that's working, nice. Okay, we can retrieve blocks by ID, by height I mean, and by hash, block hash. What do we need more? Transactions, eh? Transaction. We have data, which is basically any arbitrary data, and we use some own bytecode. We actually invented ourselves. Well, invented. It's basically standard stuff. So we can actually have a little. We have a little VM running, very small. It can add, it can subtract, and we can store variables inside our own state, inside of the contract state. And if you want to know how we did this, it's not that hard. It's a couple streams before this one. In the create a blockchain from scratch playlist, it's somewhere there, create our VM. It's pretty cool. It's the same thing as crypto public key, and now we need to do the same shenanigans, right? So we do this, takes. Wait, the first thing we're gonna do is make sure we have transactions returned if we call a block. Actually, do we want that? I don't think we want the transactions. If we query a block in JSON, I don't think we want the transaction embedded. I don't think. Maybe the hashes, right? Maybe the transaction count. What we could do is something like this, right? Type takes response struct takes count int or uint. Because it cannot be less than 0, right? You can use a uint. And maybe we could do something like hashes, which is a slice of string. Okay. And then we're going to say tx response like this, which is a tx response like that. Tx response is going to be a tx response, yeah, like this. Tx count is easy, right? Tx count, we can say it's len b block transactions like this. But we could say that the hashes is going to be make me a slice of string with the length of block transactions. Uint, eh? And then we're gonna say wait, what you're gonna do? We're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna say tx response hashes y is going to be block transactions y That's that string. Insane. This looks like Java. I'm not gonna lie. It almost looks like Java. It's gonna be a core TX hasher. Is this gonna work? Who knows? We will know. And you will be on the first row. Premier seats. Yeah, I know. It's this block. Yeah. Fine. All good. Okay, it's gonna, we have no transactions. The question is, how do we get a transaction in this block? And I just deleted that code. Main. I just deleted that code, I think. We didn't. Look at this, send transaction. To be honest, we're gonna make it even more, even simpler. GitHub.com and DM crypto exchange. It doesn't. Look at me. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Main. TCP tester. This guy was the cause of all evil this morning. But right now he's gonna serve as well. Paste this guy in. Oh man, this is so funny. So TCP tester is basically, this is not the right name. Take sender. So we're gonna connect to node 3000. We're gonna generate a private key. We have some bytecode. It's a little mathematical formula. I don't know. It's. I don't know what it is. You will see. We make a new transaction. We're gonna sign it. We encode this and we send it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take sender. We're gonna do it here. Yeah. This select loop is just a block. It's a nice little trick. If you want to block, you select. There's no production code, right? This is just for testing. If you want to test real quick, some Go routine or something, or some other shenanigans, you can do this. So if everything is okay, we should have a transaction in some block. Yes, no, yeah, well, yes, here. Transactions 1. Height 1, okay, cool. Man. Height 1, let's go, boom. Yes. Whoa. So we have TX response, we have one transaction, and this is the hash. So the main goal is to then basically copy paste this hash and then put it into TX. Boom, bam. But we don't have this route, right? That's the thing. That's what we're gonna do. So unfortunate of this Discord link, by the way. So if you want to join the Discord, I have a little community going. It's growing. But apparently the link is incorrect. Incorrectos. Here, I'm on the front page, live, for watching. Let me quickly see if I can... if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm just going to see what is going on. It's indeed the wrong Discord link. How is this possible? Whose channel is this then? Oh man, it's everywhere. It's on all my channel, man. Every single video. That's insane. So I updated the Discord link right now, so it should be good. If somebody can Can check if this already reflected. It should be. If somebody can check this, that would be nice. And I have some work to do tonight, apparently, changing all these links. That's insane. But hey. All right, so what we're gonna do before we end the stream is we're gonna implement these transactions real quick. And I think then we have some nice JSON RPC server going. We can fetch blocks by height and hash, and then we can fetch transactions by hash. That's nice. What do we need to do more? Well, actually that could be a good next stream, is sending transactions with our API. That would be amazing, right? Then we can send a transaction, some bytecode, postman into the chain, broadcast, everybody runs this VM. Wow, amazing. Where can you find this value, guys? Be honest. Let us be honest. Who is teaching you this? Who? Everybody is doing to-do lists, Netflix clones, how to code your own Instagram. Who cares? Nobody cares, right? This is low-level code. You know what I mean? You learn everything here. Crypto stuff, TCP, APIs, everything. Buffers. And you also know how to remove a Windows taskbar now. Insane value. Okay, cool. So, first of all, blockchain. Blocks. We're going to say transactions. It's going to be a slice of transaction. No. It's going to be a map. Types hash, and actually that maybe strings is better. I don't know. Transactions. So we're going to do the same thing. Block store. Wait. We're going to say TX store. This is much better. TX store. Like this. Boom. Like this. Okay. So what we need to do actually is all in the same mutex. Why not? So we're going to range over the block transactions, and we're going to say BC TX store TX hash core. It's all we are already in core. It's TX hasher like this. It's going to be TX. Is that a pointer? That's a question. It is. Well. Yeah, I think that's fine. So now we can go back to the API. We're going to say TX is basically just a hash, right? Because we don't have a height. We could hash handle get TX or transaction. What do you think? TX, right? Yeah. Always a question. Do we do it TX like this or like this? In normal languages, it's a small x, but in Go, they prefer to have these ID, TX, all these abbreviations capitalized. Here's what it is. Server, you're going to say handle get TX echo context error hash is going to be C param hash right? I'm going to say tx okay, no. I'm going to say tx error is going to be sbc. I knew we forgot something. Get height has block func bc blockchain get tx by hash types hash transaction error tx okay bc. Wait, this is wrong. Why did nobody notify me? We need to put the mutex a read lock, right? A read lock is enough. We read lock, then we defer, we unlock or read lock. The problem is, should we use the same lock for all these maps? That's the question, right? I think we can. Or maybe not, but I think we can. We're gonna leave it like this and see what happens. Later on. Because the problem with the lock is, if you lock something, for example, I'm fetching blocks and I lock the mutex, but then some other request comes in for transactions or something that's not related to this block map, but the lock is locked. But actually, you see, we have the same lock, and this needs to wait for the other one. So we should use another one, but for now we're gonna keep this one. Actually, what we're gonna do, make sure we use for headers and blocks. It can be the same, right? But for transactions, actually, I'm doubting. Double check. Fair enough, right? Okay, BC. First of all, BC tx store hash, right? If not okay, return. Wait. Nil. fmt error f. Could not find tx with hash. This one, and otherwise we return tx and null, right? Okay, so we have this. Let me go to server, whoops, and say get tx by hash. Where is the shenanigans? Wait, this is actually, no. We're gonna decode this, man, like this. We're gonna say, I'm trying to copy paste as much possible, right, to save some time. Like this, and then we can say yank inside this. We're going to return this error, yes, and otherwise. Copy paste everything. This is not going to work. All right, let's quickly see. Something is wrong, I know, up front. Something is not quite right, but that doesn't matter. Block where is in 1. Okay, so we have this transaction hash. Copy paste this thing. TX paste. It's gonna work, but this is so cool. Why is it doing that? I didn't do this. Or did I? Data. Why is it returning me this nice string? Whoa, my PC is on fire. It's insane. I have noise cancellation on my headset and I hear a spaceship. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I hope it's okay. But I can tell you it's going insane. Okay, cool. I don't know why this is. It's just a plain byte. So why does it this nice thing? But it is what it is. Once again. So what we need to do is basically, if we really want, make this a little bit user-friendly. Just the same thing we did with this block, right? In server. We did this nice massaging into a user-friendly JSON representation. We should do that with transaction the same, but for now I think it's good. It's good. All right. Are there any questions? Happy to resolve all of them. And if there are no questions, then I think I'm going to wrap this stream up and I will be back tomorrow as usual, where we're going to do, I don't know, maybe we do the same thing. We start, I think pushing transactions to our blockchain would be insane nice. Then we don't need this transaction TCP tester shenanigans in our main function. Or I could go back to our crypto exchange from scratch, where we are building a complete cryptocurrency exchange in Golang, matching engine, order books. We also have a private Ethereum network that's connected to our engine, to our exchange. And if we place a limit order and we match it with a market order, it actually transfers Ethereum, ethers, Gwei, fractions of ethers between the users. Insane, I know. That's what we are building also. Not quite sure what you guys want to see, what kind of content you want. Let me know. And don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, and all that shenanigans. You know what it is. You guys are YouTube veterans, right? I don't need to tell you. I also have a Discord community. I think the link should be good right now. So feel free to join if you want to learn more, if you want to be updated, if you want to learn. If you're following these tutorials and you encounter issues or you have more questions, you can also put it in Discord or DM me. It's all good. Jared, UK X Jared is back once again. Did you, were you here the whole stream or you just came in the past couple of seconds or minutes? Crypto tutorials. Man, I didn't know that there was such a delay on YouTube. I'm watching myself, but it's a big delay for some reason. Whole stream, nice man. You are picking up some value, I'm not gonna lie. You should be good. All right, so if there are no questions, I'm gonna wrap it up. And you know, if you have questions later on, don't hesitate to poke me on Discord or on Twitter, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, I would thank everyone for watching, and you will see me back soon. I'm dropping normally tomorrow, or maybe the day after tomorrow, the first video of the quantitative trading shenanigans we are gonna do. So something to look forward to. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video. Cheers.